Motor Rock was an unofficial attempt at a sequel to Blizzard's Rock 'n' Roll Racing that lasted approximately a week before being removed from legal distribution. In this video, we'll take a look at the events leading up to its release, its short availability on the Steam store, and the reasons surrounding its removal. I do hope you enjoy. We begin on the 4th of June 1993, when a developer called Silicon & Synapse released a game called Rock 'n' Roll Racing on the Super Nintendo, followed by a Genesis version the following year. It was one of the first games to feature a licensed soundtrack, which included some big names such as Black Sabbath and Deep Purple, to name a few. Silicon & Synapse went on to become Blizzard Entertainment in 1994. A sequel of sorts was released on the 26th of December 1997 for PlayStation, called Red Asphalt. We'll be ignoring this part of the series' history since it was nothing like the original and really wasn't a very good game. On the 23rd of June, Rock 'n' Roll Racing is released on the Game Boy Advance. This would be the last release we see of the series for some time, at least officially. In around 2009, while Blizzard was working on upcoming titles such as StarCraft II and World of Warcraft Cataclysm, two Russian developers calling themselves Yard Team quietly started working on their unannounced new game, Rock 'n' Roll Racing 3D. After 4 years of development, in February 2013, Rock 'n' Roll Racing 3D is announced to the world via Steam Greenlight, Indiegogo, Reddit, and a YouTube trailer. The Steam Greenlight page was met with much enthusiasm, with the developers calling it a not-for-profit continuation of the game, crediting Rock 'n' Roll Racing as its inspiration and confirming it would be developed in the spirit of the original game. Over on Indiegogo, the game managed to raise 5% of its nominated figure, with some commenters questioning Blizzard's knowledge of the project and suggesting a name change would be required. The developer responded, simply stating, quote, "I'm sure if Blizzard know about Rock 'n' Roll Racing 3D, then they will close our project." It was a similar situation over on Reddit, with some posts questioning the legality and also suggesting a name change. Then, on 16th December 2013, apparently having made it through Steam's Greenlight process, Rock 'n' Roll Racing 3D launches on Steam under the new name of Motor Rock, for a price of around $7. Many were quick to point out the concerning use of Rock 'n' Roll Racing material and other similarities. On the gameplay side, the game included characters such as Snake and Tarquin, who featured in the original game. Likewise, the entire car lineup had also been copied, some with their original names. At launch, the game also included the original commentator Larry, with the sound files ripped directly from the original game, although this was quickly removed. The soundtrack was also questionable, featuring a number of modern covers of classic rock songs which, judging by everything else, were likely not licensed either. Despite its blatant disregard for intellectual property, the game was actually very good. Veterans of the original would find themselves right at home with surprisingly familiar car handling and the same approach to racing brackets and world progression, all of which featured new bosses. The game also iterated on the original formula, including the ability to add additional weapons to the cars, new power-ups to collect, obstacles and debris on the track, and even online multiplayer. Although modest, the game's launch seemed to be going well. A few days later, on the 19th of December, the game would receive a tremendous amount of exposure when the late Total Biscuit featured Motor Rock on his WTF Is video series. In his video, Total Biscuit praises the game overall, but predicted it would likely not be around for long given its disregard for copyright. A link to the video is in the description below. Then on the 23rd of December 2013, 1 week after release, and to the surprise of absolutely no one, Motor Rock was removed from the Steam store. Posts quickly appeared in the game's Steam forum, where one of the developers advised the game was pulled from Steam without warning and that they were seeking an explanation from Valve. Despite being pulled, the developers continued to patch the game and post on their forums. A reply in January of 2014 provided more detail on what had occurred. According to the developer's post, quote, "In spite of all efforts, we still cannot reach an agreement with Blizzard," unquote, and that Blizzard did not even allow us to distribute the game for free on Steam. So, where does this leave us? At the time of this video, you cannot buy the game through Steam. However, you may be able to buy a Steam key from the Yard Team website, although recent Steam forum posts indicate this is no longer working and to proceed with caution. If you were fortunate enough to buy it through Steam when it was available, you can still download and play the game issue-free. Though, understandably, it appears the game is no longer being updated. If you're after a copy of the original Rock'n'Roll Racing, Blizzard made a feature-reduced version of it freely available on their website, although, fair warning, it has a god-awful soundtrack. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching!